Mike Richardson, and I'm the director of Samy's Pro Cinema and Audio Department. And I've got a tiny little surprise for you that I'd like to share. My friends at Panasonic have sent me the BS1H, a brand new box camera, which is full frame. It's really hard to believe that in this tiny little package, I have a 24 megapixel sensor with 14.5 stops of dynamic range. In addition to the full frame sensor on this tiny little camera, there are 11 attachment points, quarter 20s, 2 on the bottom and a bunch on the sides, so you can add whatever features that you need directly onto the camera. The hot shoe up here on top allows the attachment of the Panasonic XLR1 adapter, which will allow you to take your audio mics and jack directly in XLR, and will give you 96-bit audio directly into the final file. Batteries mount on the back, as well as we have a fan to give you full cooling of the sensor so that there is no overheating, and you have unlimited recording capabilities for 6K, 5.7K, 5.6K, Cinema 4K, 4K, and all the way down to full HD. So as I mentioned before, the beauty of this camera is the connectivity and being able to use this camera for a variety of different uses. So whether you're using it as a shoulder cam, whether you have it mounted on sticks, maybe it's permanently mounted in the studio, you're using it on a gimbal, maybe a drone, or you want to build it out with rails and a fancy lens, you can do anything with this camera and still have a variety of different connectivities. If you need to take an output to the Video Village, you can use the 3 SDI port. You also have, we'll give you 1080 feed direct out to a large monitor for your Video Village, time code, and also Gen Lock built into this camera. You also have at the same time the full capability of HDMI. So if you're using raw recording, or you need to say record to a Hdmi Mini for a live broadcast, you can do so through that, as well as a connectivity for USB-C. And then of course, the best one on the back, my favorite, is the feature of having Ethernet capability. This camera can be powered by PoE+. So if you have a network with PoE+ capability, you can power the camera, also provide the feed, the video feed to it, whether it's live or you want to record. Or the most important feature is you can control up to 12 cameras, whether you want to do one or each one individually, or you want to do all 12 at the same time. They can all be controlled over the PoE+ network that you run. An amazing feature for such a beautiful little tiny camera. And so one of the things I wanted to show you is the ability now to add a cage to this camera. So now I've taken my BS1H and I've added a cage from Wooden Camera, and I've also added a little NATO handle and a Ninja 5 also built in a cage. So I have a nice rugged little package with an 85mm prime lens, f1.8, and I can do my run and gun videography if I need to and get some great cinema work. Maybe I'm shooting a skateboarder or something like that. I have some great flexibility and a very tiny, small, and lightweight package. Even though the BS1H is a tiny, lightweight box camera, we can build it out into a super kit for you, giving you the full cinematic capabilities of a full-fledged cinema camera, handling not only long lenses on rails, but also full battery power for your accessories, as well as V-mount power or gold mount or D-tap, whatever you require. So the Panasonic BS1H, going from a small, tiny box camera all the way up to a full-fledged built-out cinematography kit. For those of you that like to work on a gimbal, the BS1H from Panasonic is a great alternative because of its compact size and low weight. It's perfect to be a payload for any gimbal, as well as having the ability of now its prime lenses. They're all 1.8s. There's an 85mm, a 50, a 24, and soon to come a 35mm. They all have the same barrel design and almost the same weight distribution. So when you change lenses, there are very little, if to any, adjustments that you have to make for your gimbal. So while you're out there working, you can do it very quickly, make a focal change, and get on going. Thanks again for joining us on this first look at the impressive BS1H. And join us on our YouTube channel and look in the future for more in-depth videos on this amazing camera. I'm Mike Richardson, and you can look up Samys.com to get the pre-order on this amazing new camera right now. And mid-November, we should have them in stores and available for purchase. Also, don't forget the 800 number. I can be reached directly by dialing that number, and myself or one of my teammates would be more than happy to put and assemble a kit together, maybe like this one if you're using a gimbal, or anything else that you might need so that you can get that perfect footage.